I want to start this off with sorry for the lighting. I'm sure it looks a little yellow in some of these clips. So I kind of wanted to go over this truck with you guys just so you get a feel at, the history of the truck, kind of what it's all about. So this is my 1974 Chevrolet LUV truck. I bought it when I was 13 years old. I went to Tucson, Arizona with Brett Vocal, the former owner of Racetruck, Andy Vocal, his son, my dad, Chad Reynolds, and our friend James Crosby. Like I said, I was 13. I believe I was in 8th grade. I wanted to get a project. I was really looking for a C10 or something to get to start autocrossing and doing all of that. And a guy who used to work at Racetruck named Kyle said, "Why don't you get a LUV truck?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that is." As he started showing me pictures, I fell in love with them. No pun intended. So time went on, and my dad found this one on Craigslist, and he was like, "Yeah, low rust, be a good, truck to build, and just kind of keep it simple, do pro touring, stuff with it." I was gonna just do, I think our plan was to do S10, suspension on it, because it's very similar, and I could use the stock frame and just build mounts off of that. But as time went on, it started to progress more and more, and at first we were gonna do stock frame S10 stuff, and then we were like, okay, well, what if we went away with the stock frame and did a tube chassis, but not really a tube chassis, and build our own frame and use Miata stuff. Kind of kicking around that idea for a while, and then James Crosby, the guy I picked it up with, I believe by this time I was a sophomore in high school. I took some time off of working on this truck because my mom got sick, and we were kind of focusing on all of her stuff. But I was around a sophomore in high school, and James had this 5th gen Camaro IRS cradle that he had narrowed up for a C3. He gave me a really good deal on it, and so I ended up buying that, and then it just escalated more and more and more. So right now I have the main frame rails tacked to the body. The front clip is tacked in. Now I'm just working on the rear. Once I get the rear cradle all positioned, well, it is positioned. Once I get it all tacked in, build mounts for it to connect to the main frame rails, I'll start on the cage. But yeah, for now, I will show you guys what I've been working on. All right, so after cutting this piece down, I basically just tacked it in place just to see how I like it. And I don't know, honestly, I called my friend Rob McGregor, who's a chassis builder, and really amazing just at what he does. And he said that if I do it, this 2x3 box tubing horizontally, but then triangulate it somewhere else, like maybe if I did another piece of 2x3 from here to over here, he said it would be plenty strong once I do the cage and all that. So I'm gonna keep messing around with this idea. I'll probably end up doing a gusset or something right here. Right here, with how much gap there is, I was thinking about if I cut a piece of plate out and just, make a little filler piece for that or something. I'm not sure if I did a gusset or, I don't know. So I'm going to eat dinner, but I might come back and look at this more later. I'm not sure yet. All right, well, I've been working on this thing a lot and totally forgot to film, but I have this all tacked in. Had to cut this, bend it up, push the tube in, flatten it back down. I built a plate to go across underneath to hold this up, and then I'll add another plate that goes back here to strengthen it all up. Right now I'm making a little plate to go right here to tack in. And then my dad is then gonna come check on this weekend, see how much plating I need to do on the bottom of the IRS cradle to make sure that it's gonna be strong enough. But yeah, it's moving along better. I'm just super frustrated at, trying to make it strong enough and all that, but it's going. So I know I look like a total idiot right now, but as you can tell, I made that little filler piece, just barely tacked it in just to see how it looks. But yeah, that'll give me more area to weld to along right here, along the bottom, and along down right here. The other side, I'll make, I don't think that'll need one. I think I can fill that with a weld. But yeah, and obviously weld up that, weld up all this, and then weld across here, and then along the bottom. Yeah, it's going good. I know a lot of you are wondering what engine and trans I will be putting in this, and this is what it is. This is a LTG from Chevrolet Performance. It is a turbo 4-cylinder out of like a new 6th gen Camaro. Chevrolet Performance actually sent this to me for this truck, and then along with a 6-speed from Tremec. It's not a T56, but it's basically just a mini version of it. It's in that transmission box back there. I'm gonna actually send it off to Tremec to get it looked at and to put some other things in it. As far as suspension, a lot of it is Racetruck. It'll end up getting Racetruck coilovers on it. Don't mind all the dust and dirt. This thing is in basically a warehouse. But yeah, I have Wilwood spindles for it. It won't have Wilwood brakes to begin with. It'll just have stock C5 Z06 stuff up front with 5th gen Brembos in the rear. Don't mind how ugly this fender is, but as you can tell, I have marked along where I'll need to end up cutting it because this thing is getting big flares. Not giant, but about 3.5 to 3 inch flares on each side just to fit. My goal is to fit a 275 all the way around. I might end up having to cut this off and build a tube structure for it just so it can, you know, have a little bit more travel, but I believe where it's at is gonna be good. I'll have to notch the firewall. I'll probably end up making my own, cut this one out, making my own, notch it in the middle. As far as the front clip goes, I am gonna need to notch it right here and then drop it about 2 inches to clear the pan for the LTG because that engine is very tall. But besides that, this thing is moving along, you know, more than ever right now just because I do have time to work on it. So the struggle of moving to Texas, getting this set up, starting to build our house and all that has just taken so much time, but I finally have the time and the means to do this. I'm no professional, but I am going to try my best to make this thing the coolest love truck and also a very fast autocross and road course truck to run USCA, SCCA, Grid Life, and other events like that.